Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Reds Take. Let's get started. So it's time to go over my predictions for both the NFL and college. But first, let's start off with the NFL. Um, so we got the Thursday night game with Denver 3-3 versus Cleveland 3-3. Cleveland's favored by 3.5. Both teams are struggling here, which makes it a little more intriguing because it's kind of a do or die for some of these teams. Especially since both these teams are in a tough division and they need wins. I think that Baker not being 100% will hurt. Kareem Hunt's out. Nick Chubb's out. OBJ's hurt again. Landry's probably still out. And then also having a bad defense. I think this is all too much for the Browns to overcome, despite having the better coach and being at home and all that. Which typically, again, I like on the home team on Thursday nights. I think it's too much to overcome there with all the injuries. So I'm going to take Denver to win here by touchdown, 27-20. And then you got Washington 2-4 versus Green Bay 5-1. Green Bay's 9.5-point favorite. We saw a lot of blowouts last week, and unfortunately we're gonna see a lot of blowouts this week as well. Starting off with this one, Washington's defense will have no answers to stop Aaron Rodgers at home, and Heineke has actually started to slow down in production the past couple of games. So this is a game where after Ron Rivera said, "Hey, in this offseason, I guess we need to go after Aaron Rodgers." So I have Green Bay, Kansas City 3-3 versus Tennessee 4-2. This should be the offensive game of the week. I'd be surprised if both teams don't get past 30 plus. Kansas City will have no answers for King Henry, but then the Titans secondary will have any answers, for Tyreek Hill or Travis Kelce, Mahomes there. I think what we saw from Kansas City's defense last week against Washington will probably just be a byproduct of playing a backup QB. So I think Tannehill, if he's in a situation where he gets the ball last, I feel like he will lead the winning drive, and that's why I think will happen. If Kansas City has the last drive, and I think they'll win, but if not, the Tennessee will win. I have them winning by field goal 37-34. Atlanta 2-3 versus Miami 1-5. Atlanta's 2.5-point favorite. Miami gets another break here, being at home against a bad defense, so Tua can kind of get more into a rhythm. After an embarrassing loss against Jacksonville, I know Brian Flores will make sure that he has his team ready to go this time to avenge last week's loss. It'll be close, but in the end, I think Miami will finally get one to kind of get back on the right track here. I have them winning 23-17. New York Jets 1-4 versus New England 2-4. New England's favored by 7. So here's a game where the Patriots can bounce back. A bye week for the Jets, no doubt, should have helped them. But I do think it'll magically be fixed overnight, especially since the last time they played each other wasn't before fixed. I just don't think Robert Saleh, Michael Forzak was enough answers to kind of fix the mistakes they had when they played each other last time. So I'll take New England here to win 24-9. Let's see, so Carolina 3-3 versus New York Giants 1-5. Carolina's 3-point favorite. So here is the perfect game for the Panthers to finally get back on the right track here. I think the Panthers defense will suffocate that Giants line and force Danny Dimes into more mistakes once again. Now I don't think it'll be a blowout per se, because Panthers usually don't blow out teams. They've only had one blowout this season, but I don't think it shouldn't be close either. So I'm gonna have Carolina winning 28-13. Cincinnati 4-2 versus Baltimore 5-1. Baltimore's favored by 6.5. A lot of people like the Bengals here to keep it close, if not for some reason get upset. And while I do respect Cincy, I think they're gonna get blown out this game most likely. Mainly because I feel like the Ravens D line, who loves the blitz and all that, will give Cincy's bad O line fits in this game. I can honestly see another blowout here. The Ravens winning streak continues with 6 games in a row, so I have them winning 31-13. Philly 2-4 versus Vegas 4-2. Vegas we over 3. Honestly, don't know what to expect in this game because with Philly you can get some hot and coldness there, and then with Vegas you can get some hot and coldness there. So it's just like I'm not sure what to expect. Because it's at home though, and Derek Carr is obviously a better quarterback, I'm just going to lean towards that. And I'm going to have Vegas winning by 4, 24-20. Detroit 0-6 versus the LA Rams 5-1. Rams are favored by 15. Consider this another bye week for the Rams, in my opinion. I do think that Goff, playing against his former team, he will come out on fire, kind of like against what he did against Green Bay in that second game of the season. He came out on fire, everything's going up, and then the second half, it's total collapse. And that's what I predicted here. So I have Rams winning 38-17. Houston 1-5 versus Arizona 6-0. Arizona scored by 17, which is a lot for an NFL team. Arizona will lose at some point, but it definitely won't be this game. I have Arizona winning 38-7. Chicago 3-3 versus Tampa Bay 5-1. Tampa Bay's favored by 13. So that's three straight games right there in a row of double digits. And I still think there's going to be at least 2 or 3 more blowouts. So that's basically half the games this week, unfortunately, with blowouts. But I think this game will kind of go some of the way the Green Bay worked out game last week for Chicago. So with Tampa Bay's secondary injuries, Chicago can get some type of passing going there, and Chicago defense can make things close in the first half. I feel like Brady in the second half started to play like Aaron Rodgers did last week in the second half, and Tampa Bay once again get a win. I have them winning 28-13. Indy 2-4 for San Francisco 2-3. San Francisco favored by 3.5. Because the 49ers are coming off the bye, I would typically like that advantage for a coach like Kyle Shanahan, especially since rumor has it that Jimmy G should be a go for this game. I'm coming off this calf injury, but after the way the Colts have been performing the past few weeks, I feel like that the 49ers injuries in different positions will come into factor here, and I just feel like the Colts will continue to ride that hot wave as they go into San Fran and actually get upset here 21-20. And then for Monday Night Football, you got New Orleans 3-2 versus Seattle 2-4. New Orleans favored by 5. Here's a fascinating stat. So all the home teams for the Monday Night Football games this year have won. However, I would not let that stat persuade me from picking the Saints here. The Saints defense can force, and Geno Smith to force some turnovers, but then also the Saints can exploit a bad Seahawks defense. But then the Saints also have some players coming back from injury. But the big thing is that Sean Payton again is coming off a bye here. It's kind of like what Kyle Sean Payton coming off a bye is very enticing. So I'm going to pick Seattle. New Orleans. Despite being at home in Seattle, I'm going to pick New Orleans here, 34-16. Now for my college football top 10 games for Week 8. I'm already going to let you know there's not a lot of good games on paper this week. Hopefully we get some upsets. Hopefully we get some interesting games after all. But on paper, not a lot of good ones. So let's start off with Oregon 5-1 versus UCLA 5-2. And Oregon's ranked number 10. And so this game's pretty interesting here. This is one of those upset alert games here. So Oregon looked vulnerable against Cal last Friday. And if they are vulnerable against Cal, which is not a good team, well, then you can't be vulnerable against UCLA because, while their defense is suspect, on offense, they'll put up points against you. So if Oregon can control the style and the tempo pace here, then they can win. But if not, then this is a game where the Bruins going to get the upset here. And they were close to getting upset against them last year. I think they're going to get it done. I'm going to have them win 30-28. 2, you got Clemson versus 23 Pittsburgh, 5-1. So Clemson has been just squeaking by their opponents recently due to low scoring at the end. The question is, can that work against Pittsburgh and their high-powered offense? I think the answer is no. They showed me some things against Virginia Tech, Pittsburgh that I was impressed by, so I'm gonna pick them to get the win here against Clemson. Now it will be an ugly game. I feel like which Clemson will like, but again, Pittsburgh doesn't. I feel like Pittsburgh's offense would just be too much for Clemson, so I have at home Pittsburgh winning 23-17. 3, you got 8 Oklahoma State 6-0 versus Iowa State 4-2. So could this be the game where Oklahoma State finally stumbles because they've had a few close calls? Maybe. But I don't think it will happen. Iowa State against good defenses this year, Iowa and Baylor, have not looked good at all. And since Oklahoma State's the best defense in the Big 12 right now, I think despite being at home, they can't make enough plays on offense to get the win here. So Oklahoma State surviving 27-23. 4, you got Wisconsin 3-3 versus 25 Purdue 4-2. So this game is interesting. We know Wisconsin and quarterback Mertz struggles against ranked teams. Hasn't beaten a ranked team at all. And Purdue is now ranked. So the question is, will that continue, or will Purdue kind of have like a letdown, from that emotional upset win from last week at Iowa? I think Purdue would get the upset. I mean, we'll get the win here at home, but it'll be by the skin of their teeth, barely. Like, you'll definitely notice, like, the drop back, from that emotional win last week. But again, I just don't trust Mertz in the ranked, high profile game type situation here. So I'm going to take Purdue to win 2017. 5, you got 22 San Diego State 6-0 versus Air Force 6-1. That's right, because not excited on paper matchup, you get some G5 love here. Both teams are trying to keep themselves in the race to represent their respective divisions in the Mountain West title game. Air Force got the huge upset at Boise, and um, if, so basically, if Utah State, they already lost Boise. If Utah State loses a game, since Utah State has a tiebreaker against them, and Air Force can win out, then obviously they can win the division. And for San Diego State, obviously if they win out, they win because they're in a fear right now. Air Force has a shot to win this game. San Diego State can still win this division with a loss, so the urgency is not there as much as then. Although since it wouldn't be a ranked game, I would agree with you. Um, but I feel like San Diego State definitely wants to make a statement here against a good Mountain West team, because if Cincy for some reason, I don't know, I'm not thinking this all, but for some reason Cincinnati doesn't win the American Conference, and if you could hope that Coastal Carolina loses in their conference game, well then the winner of the Mountain West Conference will get the New Year's Six spot from the G5 representative. So you gotta make sure you get all your wins. So I'm gonna have San Diego State to win here, but they'll barely survive on the road. Yeah, I can win 28-24. USC 3-3 versus 13 Notre Dame 5-1. I know USC is down this year, but this could be a closer game than expected. One, because it's a rivalry. Two, because USC plays better on the road for some reason than home games this season. But the third is Notre Dame can't blow out mediocre teams or bad competition this season, especially since Notre Dame has some quarterback issues. Now I'll take Notre Dame to survive over again. Close game, 28-23. So we get LSU 4-3 versus 12 Ole Miss 5-1. Now, with Ed Orgeron going to be out there in the season, I'm not sure how that's going to play with the team and how hard they're going to try. If they're going to try harder because he's leaving, or is like, the season's kind of washed. If there's any indication of how they're going to perform against LSU, how they performed against Florida in this game, the LSU can make some noise. But Ole Miss, the only reason why I'm worried about them is because Lane Kiffin's been saying Matt Corral's questionable, their quarterback. If he doesn't play, then LSU would definitely get the upset. But if he does play and he's fine, I expect Ole Miss to get the win here. I'm going to have them win in a close one, 25-23. You got BYU 5-2 versus Washington State 4-3. BYU's on a 2-game lose streak, and Washington's on a 3-game win streak. That should say to pick the Red Cougars there, not the Blue Cougars. But I still won't give up on BYU. I think their offense found a rhythm late versus Baylor. Also, BYU can't stop the run, and Washington State prefers to pass the ball. So that works in BYU's very opportunistic defense. So works in their favor. But then also Washington State head coach Nick Rolovich, getting let go because he wanted to get the vaccine. I feel like it's good, and honestly, and half the coaching staff got let go because they want to get the vaccine. I feel like it's just going to be too much to overcome, at least in this game. So I have BYU winning 34-27. Now Utah 4-2 versus Oregon State 4-2. So Utah coming off a big win against Arizona State at home and now being the leader in the Pac-12 South. Could there be a letdown here? Maybe. Oregon State at home can't be slept on by the Utes. Therefore, I'm going to pick this to be a very closer game than most people may expect. But I'll still have Utah get the W here in a 27-20 type of game. And then 10, I got Nevada 5-1 versus Fresno State 5-2. So right away we have another G5 showdown here in the Mountain West once again. After playing Oregon tough and upsetting UCLA, if Fresno State kind of wants to save their season with already one Mountain West upset lost year, which was at Iowa, still play for a conference title, they must win this game at home. Otherwise, it becomes San Diego State versus Nevada showdown. I think Fresno State at home will play with desperate feeling and get the win. You have to win 23. By the way, both quarterbacks here, very good and underrated. So if you're looking for a good quarterback game, I know it's on FS2, but if you can try to watch it, it's a good one there. So thank you very much for listening to my podcast today. Please subscribe to my channel to learn about me. Thank you very much, and you all have a wonderful day.